The reality on this, and I am somebody that likes Brian Flores as a head coach, the Dolphins' former head coach, is in essence what you're going to see here is that Mike McDaniel at the end of his tenure is just going to basically have the same career as Brian Flores. He's just going to do it with a smile. That's just going to – no, I'm like – and I actually think they're both good coaches. Like, I think the Dolphins hired two good coaches in a row. I really do. And I think that they have attached themselves or been attached to Tua. They attached themselves to Tyreek Hill, who you probably more than any fan or media member has been trying to run out of town over the last 6 months. And by the way, Tyreek Hill is running faster than you to get him run out of town. Let's be honest about that. But I just think in general, they've hired two good coaches in a row, and both of them are going to end up the same. Just one's going to be smiling and one's not.
That's a great way to put it, a very Evan Cohen way of putting it. And I credit you for that analogy because you're not wrong. Brian Flores is a hell of a coach. We see what he's doing right now for the Vikings on the defensive side of the ball. But I do think there's something to be said for McDaniel, who had to go into a playoff game with his quarterback being, who was that came in there? I forget his name now, the backup. Skylar Thompson.
Mike White. Yeah.
Not Mike White. Skylar Thompson starts a playoff game for you. You also, if you're Mike McDaniel, have to deal with just a lot of uncertainty. And you know what? I maybe not the most underrated, but I do think he is probably the one that at least has dealt with the most like adversity that he didn't cause himself.
I was crushed until I talked to Cater. And honestly, Cater made me feel a little bit better about where he was at simply by his mindset.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
That was Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel talking about learning of cornerback Kader Kohou tearing his ACL and being out for the season. He will start this season on IR. The Miami Dolphins are going to be without their entire starting secondary from last year. Kader Kohou was one of the guys that gave them the confidence to trade Jalen Ramsey off and get Minkah Fitzpatrick back. They thought they had options at corner. Artie Burns, Miami Hurricane alum, he tears his ACL on day one of camp. And now we also learned that Kader Kohou is out there. They might trot me and C-Cat out there to play corner. It is getting thin, and it is getting ugly for the Miami Dolphins. But there was a second thing I heard in that Mike McDaniel soundbite, and it might have been a bit of a Freudian slip. Before he said Kader Kohou's name, speaking of injury, sounded like he went. It was a t. We're going to play it back again to see if y'all heard that. Joining us right now from Unsportsmanlike 6 to 10 a.m. right here on ESPN 106.3 alongside Michelle Smallmon and Chris Canty. We have Evan Cohen in the house, and he joins us on video. What's up, Evan?
What's up? How are you?
I am doing good, man. Feeling fine. And also, did you hear that? Did you hear Mike McDaniel there kind of start to say it seems like Tua's name before he said Kader Kohou's name?
Are you saying, Theo Dorsey, theoretically speaking, are you saying Mike McDaniel is so conditioned when talking about injury just to say Tua's name? Is that your angle on this?
I am telling you, it's what I heard, and can you blame him? I would say 25% of the questions he answers is about Tua's injuries. 35% is about Tyreek Hill's antics. 10% is about football, maybe. You know, like, and I'm not going to go through the rest because my math is bad and I shouldn't have picked that hard of percentages. But let's do it again. C-Cap, can you play it, at least the beginning part?
I was crushed until I talked to Cater.
Come on. What was that?
I don't even know what other word he would like. I was thinking to myself, like, I was crushed until I talked to him.
That was Tua. He was about to go Tua, and I'm not criticizing him for it. It's what he's had to deal with. Mike McDaniel has, to me, he's kind of drawn a bit of a raw hand. It's like, oh, you get this generational talent at wide receiver with this elite level speed, but he's a knucklehead. And he always has off-the-field issues going on, and he apparently is a problem within the locker room. Oh, you get this quarterback who can, at the top of his game, be near elite. but in big games when it's cold, he kind of withers, and also he's injury prone. His defense, it feels like every other year the Miami Dolphins defense withers away to injury. Like Mike McDaniel, he might be one of the more underrated coaches in the NFL just because of how bad his situation, or at least tumultuous, his situation has been over the past 3 years. And I'm not vouching for the dude. I'm just saying, like, come on. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in Miami.
I don't know that I would go underrated. I understand where you're going with this, Theo. I don't think underrated. I think that if you're going to say he never got the full hand he thought he was being dealt, okay, there's an angle there. The reality on this, and I am somebody that likes Brian Flores as a head coach, the Dolphins' former head coach, is in essence, what you're going to see here is that Mike McDaniel at the end of his tenure is just going to basically have the same career as Brian Flores. He's just going to do it with a smile. That's just going to – no, I'm like – and I actually think they're both good coaches. Like, I think the Dolphins hired two good coaches in a row. I really do. And I think that they have attached themselves or been attached to Tua. They attached themselves to Tyreek Hill, who you probably more than any fan or media member has been trying to run out of town over the last 6 months. And by the way, Tyreek Hill is running faster than you to get him run out of town. Let's be honest about that. But I just think in general, they've hired two good coaches in a row, and both of them are going to end up the same. Just one's going to be smiling and one's not.
That's a great way to put it, a very Evan Cohen way of putting it. And I credit you for that analogy because you're not wrong. Brian Flores is a hell of a coach. We see what he's doing right now for the Vikings on the defensive side of the ball. But I do think there's something to be said for McDaniel, who had to go into a playoff game with his quarterback being, who was that came in there? I forget his name now, the backup. Skylar Thompson.
Mike White.
Not Mike White. Skylar Thompson starts a playoff game for you. You also, if you're Mike McDaniel, have to deal with just a lot of uncertainty. And you know what? I maybe not the most underrated, but I do think he is probably the one that at least has dealt with the most like adversity that he didn't cause himself. I think that's the best way for me to put it. And I can't find the right words, but I want to go to a list I saw on Unsportsmanlike this morning, Evan.
Okay.
And you have to fend for it. If anything comes out of your show and you're representing the show, this is like your list now.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Okay, so Michelle Smallmon on your show. This is the Unsportsmanlike's Michelle Smallmon's. She gave out her bottom 5 NFL teams. Mm-hmm. And it goes as follows. Number 1 on the bottom 5 list. This means the worst, I'm guessing, right? Worst, closest to worst. Number 1 is the Giants.
Yeah, she thinks they're going to be the worst team in the league.
Okay. Number 2 is the Saints. Number 3 is the Colts. Number 4 is the Browns. And number 5 is the Miami Dolphins. She thinks the Dolphins are the 5th worst team in the NFL. First, can I just ask you, what is the criteria around this?
Well, it's a good question. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see what I can do for you. Hi, you're on the air with Theo right now. He wants to know why you have the Dolphins as the 5th worst team in the league. Say it loud so we can hear you. You're on speaker.
Wait, say that again? You cut out, sorry.
You're on the air with Theo right now, ESPN West Palm, Smalls. So just
I wanted to berate Evan, now I have to berate Michelle herself. Now this is what
so I'm getting attacked by ESPN West Palm as to why you have the Dolphins so low. And I said, let me just call her. So just give one take and then I'll hang up. Why do you think the Dolphins are going to stink this year?
Because I can't count on Tua to be healthy.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Oh. But see how that has nothing to do with Mike McDaniel, though? And see how that can cost Mike McDaniel his job? And see how even think about this, though, Evan. And I got too much love for Smalls to attack her, so I'm back to attacking you, Evan.
Wait, can I ask you a question? Post-show, when CCAT goes and meets with Brian Rowitz, the content director for ESPN West Palm, does he get credit for like a double get? Like, hey, I booked 2 national hosts today. Like, does he get credit for the guest booking of Smalls just now?
Right. Or it's by the transitive property or something. Like it's like through osmosis, we get credit for that. And in fact, when we publish this on podcast and everything, we will say we have Michelle Smallmon and also Evan Cohen.
Yeah, you did have Michelle Smallmon on. That is technically true.
But come on, though, Evan. You see how it's always I'm not sure about Tua's health.
All right, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way, Theo, because I think it's hard to do every team in the league right now. So let me see if I can reason it this way. Do you, Theo Dorsey, think the Buffalo Bills are going to win the division?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think the New England Patriots are going to be significantly better this year than they were last year?
For sure.
Do you think the Jets are going to be significantly better this year than they were last year?
Yes.
So where do the losses then go?
The losses that they're going to vacate?
Yeah, so a good way of saying it, right?
Yeah.
So the wins going to those teams, meaning losses have to go other places. Where are they going to go?
Well, the difference I will say with that is you didn't ask me about the Miami Dolphins. You just asked me about the other three teams.
Okay. How do you think the Dolphins are going to be? Do you think the Dolphins are going to be better or worse than they were a year ago?
I think they'll be right on par with what they were last year. And that's the honest truth.
Which is what?
Which is a middling 500 team.
Well, there's no 500 in 17 games.
All right, they'll be 9-8.
9-8. Okay.
9-8.
And what will the Bills be?
Bills will be like 11-6, probably 12. You know what? I'll give the Bills 12-5 this year.
So where are the losses coming from? If you have the Patriots getting better, like you have too many wins in the division, do the math.
I don't. I'm saying those are going to be better teams. I'm not necessarily saying that's going to translate to more wins. The Patriots were actively trying to lose last year with the roster they put out there. Better for the Patriots might be 2 more wins. And you're shaking your head to that as a Pats fan, but what the hell did they do last year to get better?
They weren't trying to lose. That's the scary part.
What did they? No, I'm talking about the roster construction of the Patriots last year was a team that was not trying to compete.
No, you're wrong. I'm telling you.
They had Jacoby Brissett out there throwing the ball to Pop Douglas and Kayshon Boutte.
Like I said, I'm telling you, they thought they were going to be competitive. I promise you. That's now you know why Gerard Mayo is not going to be employed this year. Here's the point. Let's say you're right. Okay, let's say you're right, and they go 8-9.
Yes.
What are they then? They're the same thing they've been for 20 damn years. And you know what happens if they're 8-9? The end result is Chris Greer, the general manager, is out. Mike McDaniel, the head coach, is out. And the exit strategy is going to start with Tua. Like, that's where we're going to be with this franchise.
I agree with you that the Dolphins are in football's purgatory, and I agree with you that they're going nowhere fast is the way I like to put it. It's fun. It's flashy. Sometimes they have these high water marks, but you never believe in them to be there at the end of the day. But I don't agree that they're a bottom 5 team in the NFL. And if we're going by those metrics, then what the hell are the Cincinnati Bengals?
Well, I don't think the Cincinnati Bengals are some top team. Like, okay, what teams? Let's do it this way.
Why are the Bengals not fifth? They've missed the playoffs back-to-back years.
I'm not fighting you on that one. I don't think the Bengals are going to be as good as everyone else, but they have a significantly better quarterback. So do it this way, Theo. What teams in the NFL are you ready to say definitively will have a worse record than the Miami Dolphins?
The Panthers, the Browns, the Giants, the Saints, the Patriots. I believe the Dolphins are still better than the Patriots. Like we can say if Tua gets hurt, but how about if Tua is actually healthy for at least 12 or 13 games? How about if Quinn Ewers can be coached up enough by Mac McDaniels to be a sufficient? Quinn
Ewers you just brought up?
Or Zach Wilson?
Thanks.
All right, Drake May has proven to be flashy. Drake May has proven to be adequate, but he hasn't proven to be a guy that's going to go out there and win 8 games next year. Stephon Diggs is still partying on the boat with somebody right now. You know what I'm saying? It might not be Cardi B this time around, but he's still having a good time. He's 31, 32 years old.
Best offseason. Just throwing this out there. Steph Diggs, Klay Thompson, or Brandon Ingram. I'll hang up and listen.
No, Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson by far. Klay Thompson by a landslide, because also not only does his team get much better, and he didn't even have to lift a finger, his life improved tenfold now that he's with Meg Thee Stallion. Klay Thompson is the man.
Have you seen the latest of Brandon Ingram?
Now, what's Brandon Ingram on?
Glorilla.
Wow.
No, where have you been?
I don't know how I missed this. We've been handing out ESPN Top 63 invites left and right, everything. We have Evan Cohen here from Unsportsmanlike delivering breaking news to me. Glorilla with Brandon Ingram. Is he still with the Raptors?
Yeah, he hasn't played.
How do I make that work? From Memphis to Toronto?
Theo, I don't know if you're aware.
Meg Thee Stallion still top.
NBA players and famous successful rappers are both millionaires. I don't know if you realize that. You can get on a plane anytime you want. This is not you and I going to PBI and trying to book a flight where how do we find a 10% discount?
Well, yeah. Also, don't try to loop us into the same tax bracket here. All right, this studio is named after you. Don't loop me into the Evan Cohen tax bracket unless it comes with the same benefits. You know what I'm saying?